first question, when did you realise you first had a mental illness? Well, I have. It would make sense if the first question was, what illness do you have? Well, I discussed 2 on this channel. I want to be diagnosed with a third one that I'm pretty sure that I have, that I'm not going to discuss. But I have depression and anxiety, and I do actually suffer from panic attacks. I also have panic disorder. But when did I realise? I'm pretty sure it's like I'm almost certain my anxiety's been there since I was very, very young. When a lot of stuff went down with my dad when I was younger, and I think that's when it sort of started. Not that I knew what it was or that anyone thought anything of it, but I think that's kind of when it really started affecting me. And at school, in years 7 and 8, I was pretty severely bullied with 2 other people who we all moved schools together. And that's when I think my illness got really, really, really bad. And I was in denial about it till year 9. And that's when that's when I realised I had depression and anxiety. So I had it the entire time, but when I realised was about year 9, that I was in denial over it. At what point were you at your lowest, and how did you overcome that? Oh, that's horrible. So, even though I got bullied at school, I would say that wasn't really when I was at my lowest. My lowest was when I started my new school, and then later on, recently, I have been pretty low. I had a low period at school, a very low period at college, and then I've had like 2 years where I've had a low period. There isn't one set way to overcome it. I would say try to get help, like professional help. I would say surround yourself with people who are positive and people who you can talk to. Just know that you're not alone, that other people get through it. And I know that saying that you're not alone could be really cliche, and it can be so frustrating, because I used to think, well, how does me not being alone help me in any way? But it's more that other people have got through similar things to what you're going through, and you can get through it too. 3 things that have helped me, this channel is probably one of them. Counselling, just like keeping myself busy or just giving myself stuff to do, that's helped me. Whether it's seen as proactive by other people is another thing. Harry Potter is a thing that kept me going through school. I would just immersed myself in it and became obsessed with it, and I think that is probably why I love it so much now. I always loved it, but that's why I hold it so close to me all the time. Mention a person who supported you. Well, this is really easy. My best friend T runs a channel. I will link it down below. He's an amazing person. I don't even know where to start. Like, he's just there all the time. He has saved my life on a few occasions in a genuine sense. I don't have a bad word to say about him. He's one of the kindest, most genuine people I know. He's like this huge warrior. He can, oh my god, I'm his biggest fan, but whatever. I don't know, he's always there for me. He's intelligent, like, he has intelligent conversations, and that he comes up with the most intelligent things, and he makes intelligent points, and he has a lot of stuff going on himself, and I don't know how he copes with me as well, but he does. The journey that he has been through, he's like one of the people I look up to. He's amazing. But yeah, get yourself a friend like him, because you're gonna need one. Something I've learned from depression. I've learned a hell of a lot. I've learned that depression isn't you. Depression, you can't let it define you, but at the same time, you have to learn to accept that depression is sort of a part of who you are, but not to the point where you let it take over you. So you learn to walk alongside it, and you learn that any illness, you can learn to walk alongside it, to say, yeah, I've got this illness. It doesn't like define me as a person. Like I'm not like depression all the time. Sometimes I'm not depression ever, but I don't show my symptoms all the time, and I never will. But depression is a part of who I am. Like, at the end of the day, I've had this illness for 10 years. It has impacted me for 10 years. It has changed me as a person. It has changed the way I view mental illness, because, to be honest, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't understand it. So I feel like if you've got a mental illness, you can use that illness to help people. You can use that illness to sort of give you a backbone. Like, sometimes it's the thing that you need to do something good in the world. People who suffer a lot of stuff, they can be a voice for a community of people who are also suffering. They can help. Like, a lot of counsellors have really bad mental health problems themselves, and that's why they are so good at talking, and because they're like relaying advice to you. Like, they're what helps them, and maybe what they didn't ever do, and that's why it's easier to talk to someone who has a mental illness than it is to talk to someone who doesn't. Something positive about yourself. Oh God, I don't know. See, this is hard because naturally I find it harder to. I mean, there's many reasons why I find it hard to say positive things about me, not just because of my illness. I don't have that much confidence, believe it or not. I am also a girl, and typically in society, girls are kind of told to not brag, basically. But I guess this is positive. I mean, I think I can get things wrong sometimes, but I guess in general, the fact that I'm still here is positive, and it should be for you. Like, seeing I've lived through 10 years of this should be positive for you, and to tell you that you can do it. Say something to those going through mental illness. Oh my God, these questions, man! Like, some of them I've drawn them from different sources, so it's not even from one place. You can do it. Like I said, you're not defined by your illness. You can do it. You have done so much already. If you're watching this video, like, you just have to put it in perspective, and like, it does get better. You have to change primarily. Like, a lot of the stuff I've been learning recently is that sometimes I could let myself get a certain way, and there are going to be things in your life that you're doing wrong that are sort of promoting bad thought habits and they're just promoting this whole negativity in your life, and you need to change those things. Like, you can't recover if you're not willing to change. You can't do it, and you can't recover if you can't accept that recovery is your responsibility. Because if you're not recovery positive, you're not going to recover. You're never going to get any better. You'll never feel better. Who knows about my illness? Well, anyone who watches this video, and basically anybody who knows me, will probably end up finding out that I have. It's not something I present to people, but it's not something I hide. I say this actually, but if someone asks me where I've been, and I say I've been ill, and they say, what happened to you? I do kind of find myself lying sometimes. Like, I will lie if I say that, oh, I was sick off uni, and they say, well, what with? And I'll be like, oh, I had a cold, and instead of saying, well, actually my depression relapsed and I couldn't get out of bed and I wanted to die, so that's why I didn't come in. I avoid that. So I guess here I do get feel shame sometimes, and that's bad, really. Like, you shouldn't have to think, well, what are they going to think of me? Has your illness stopped you doing anything? This is a really deep question. Kind of hard to answer. In certain ways, yes. In other ways, no. I guess the answer to it is that it slowed everything I do down. It's made me have to slow down. I like this channel. This channel should have been live like a year ago, except I was too anxious and scared and terrified and depressed to actually put my content out there because I've got scared. Same with music, I'm a bit like that with my music. I'm scared, but I guess in a sense, no, it hasn't, because obviously I'm here and I haven't been defeated by it. And I go to uni, which is something I thought I couldn't do. I've not been defeated by it, and I am doing things even if it's slower than other people. So I guess no is the general answer to that. Common misconception about your illness. Well, I have two that I'm talking about in this video. So common misconceptions is that so many, that I spend life in my room like this all the time, that I never leave my house, that I shake and can't talk to people, and that if I do talk to people I can't be anxious. Oh, and that anxiety is just being nervous. Anxiety is not just being nervous. I might do a video on that. Anxiety is so much more than being nervous. And lastly, what do you find most difficult to deal with? Okay, well, again, not one answer. I'm going to say all the toxic people that I have now booted out of my life, well, except one, but we won't talk about him. Just negative people, stigmatizing people, people who don't try to be supportive or genuine or try to understand or try to educate themselves. Sometimes the internet is quite hard to deal with. Everyone dresses everything up on the internet. You only see the good side of people on the internet. Right now you're seeing a pretty good side of me. You don't see me at my worst. You see me putting on a face, really. Not to say that I'm fake, but it's just to say that I don't film when I'm about to do something stupid or when I'm having a really shit day. And even if I am having a shit day, I will still put on a face. So I will present to you the best version of myself at that point. And the internet is hard to deal with because it shows the highlights of everybody's life, and sometimes you feel like, oh, well, why isn't my life that good? Why isn't my life that perfect? How come their relationship is so perfect? The thing with Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and things is that you see these pictures of for example, couples, and they look all happy. But what you don't realize is that 2 minutes before the photo was taken, they were having a huge row, you know what I mean? So assumption is really hard to deal with. And that is the tag. And that, some of them I made up myself. Some of them were drawn from other people, but there we go. That is probably going to be quite a short video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. Bye.